Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Live Your Best Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Whitney Shio.
And I'm your host, Pesa Shio. I'm Whitney Shio's husband.
And of course, at Live Your Best Marriage, we believe that every single couple out there has hope to stay together and enjoy a lifetime of happiness.
Yes, every couple has a chance to be awesome. Every couple has a chance to be fulfilled. Every marriage has a chance to be awesome and fulfilling.
That's right. And you folks can always reach out to us on Twitter. I'm at Whitney Shio.
And I'm at Pesa Shio.
Of course, you can always like us on Facebook to stay updated and get the latest blog posts.
Yes, it's Facebook /Live Your Best Marriage.
That's
so you can
right.
head over there and give us a like.
Absolutely. So today, we wanted to give you 3 really, really simple tips to a happy marriage. Or a happier marriage.
3 simple tips to a happier marriage.
That's right.
So, what are they, Whitney?
So, whether you've been married for 3 months, 6 months, 10 years, whatever it is, there are things that all of us need to do to make sure that we keep our connection strong.
Okay.
And so, because it really doesn't take much for a couple to start drifting apart.
It doesn't?
Things just go downhill naturally on their own,
yeah.
unless we work to keep things moving upward.
And some of these things are really easy to do.
But then again, easy not to do.
And that's where it hits us because it's easy not to do, so we don't do them.
So when it comes to staying close, we really do have to work at it. It takes effort.
And
so one of the first things that you can do is just keep in mind that you guys are on the same team.
That's a no-brainer, but we always forget.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. It's if we can remember that above all else we're friends, that will make things so much easier.
Yes. And we had talked in another podcast where we talked about the fact that most of us, including me, including you, we like to think about ourselves. Right. And especially when things get crazy, we like to protect ourselves. And that's when that's the last time we would want to think up as a team.
Yes. And we all know that no one is happy all the time. No one's marriage is awesome all the time, every second of every day. It just doesn't work like that. Disagreements will happen, people get disappointed, arguments happen, and if we can just try as much as possible to get into the habit of remembering that we're on the same side, that really helps.
So we are on the same side, and there's a lot of things that we as couples, for us to enjoy them, we have to act as a team. There's that synchronicity, if you know what I mean, bringing us together as a team. And if we can do that as a couple, we can do other things as a couple.
Absolutely. That's true, because if we know for sure we're on the same team, number one, why would we fight against each other? But I think more importantly, if we're on the same team, then if we are fighting against one another constantly, we both lose.
Yes.
It's difficult for our team to win if we can't even be on the same page with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So And that's not always going to be easy to remember.
No way.
And it's not always easy to keep that front and center.
No.
But the more we do, remember that we have as a couple, we have a friendship, then it is easier to prevent things like resentment from taking over. And just think of two people who are friends.
Mm-hmm.
When they have a disagreement or or when they have a misunderstanding, they really probably are not as quick to blame and get upset.
Because they're friends.
Because they're like, okay, this is my friend. We were supposed to meet for lunch at noon, and she forgot, or whatever the case is. It's
something must have happened.
Yeah, your natural inclination is to think, oh, well, something must have really come up.
Something must have happened.
Or even if she forgot, then yeah, she really forgot. She's busy. She has a lot of things going on. So you'll actually be more inclined to come up with excuses for your friend. Mm-hmm. Of why they screwed up.
Yes.
But when it comes to your husband or your wife, you're like, okay, oh my gosh, seriously? We were supposed to do XYZ. Mm-hmm. And he's late.
Yes, again.
He's late again.
He's a slob.
Or, you know what? I think he really just doesn't want to do this.
He doesn't love me.
He doesn't want to spend time with me. He doesn't value me. And he's not interested.
Yeah.
So we'll start, instead of making excuses for why this happened, like defending them, mm-hmm. we'll start coming up with reasons why they are against us.
Yeah.
So again,
instead of just even like seeking to understand.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You put it in much, much, much better words than I did. Mm-hmm. When you have a friend who makes a mistake, you'll seek to understand where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. But if it's your spouse, you're more likely to be like, okay, really? Screwing up again? Okay.
Yeah. And there's a podcast we talked about that where we mm-hmm. were saying that this is actually what is called criticism. Yes. And what was his name? Dr. Gottman had talked about this guy, for some reason, he can predict divorce with like more than 90% accuracy.
Yes.
And he called criticizing your spouse as one of the 4 horsemen that he uses to predict if people are going to stay together or if people are going to split. Mm-hmm. The other one is what?
What, the other 4 horsemen?
Yes.
There's criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you are defending your actions, mm-hmm. I guess that's being defensive.
Yes. So if your spouse brings a concern to you and of something you did that made them upset, and you defend that behavior,
saying, you know what, I had to do this, man.
Yeah, or if you point the blame back towards
oh, okay,
them.
So that's blaming, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you defend your behavior. You say, well, I had to because you blah, blah, blah.
That's...
Because you're unreasonable. Then, yes. That's defensiveness.
And that does not help you to act as a team. Mm-mm. And there's another analogy we had brought up earlier where we brought up the issue of folks who... people who are just co-workers, they can work as a team. Mm-hmm. Like, and we brought up the issue of mm-hmm. firefighters, police. We brought up the issue of military folks who have these life and death situations. They work as a team, and they are not married, but they really put a great mm-hmm. show and maybe go and save somebody. Maybe they do a huge rescue, putting their lives on the line. And if they can do that, mm-hmm. and they are not even married, mm-hmm. we as married couples can take a leaf from that and be able to do that too.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, you can look to their example and see the sacrifices they make, mm-hmm. And the least we can do is do that for the person
that you're married to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then so
the second tip
to make your marriage happier is
you can focus on what makes your spouse irresistible to you. Yes.
Like what?
So first, you can think of your 3 favorite qualities that they have. What are 3 things that you just absolutely love about your spouse?
You tell me.
So, Pesa, let's hear it from you.
Beep, beep, beep.
Seriously? Okay, I'll start. I'll be the bigger person, and I'll start.
No, there was a lot of bleeping.
3 things.
There was a lot of bleeping.
Okay, I don't know what that's about.
There was a little bit because it's like a lot of like
Okay.
I was describing you, but for some reason they were all being bleeped out.
Okay.
I don't know why.
My first thing is
bleep.
Pesa is a really, really great dad. That's one. Okay, the second, he is very intelligent. And the third is he's very funny. So those are my 3 things.
Oh, thank you. Let me tell you mine. The first thing I love about you is bleep.
Seriously?
The second thing I love about you is you are bleep.
Okay, needless to say, he likes my rear end. We know that. What are 2 other things? And they can't be body parts. What are 2 other things about me that you find irresistible?
I love your intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, you've complimented me on my creativity.
Oh, your creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Your intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Your mothering abilities.
Oh, okay. My what?
Your fertility.
Oh, my... Yes, we have 4 children, so...
Okay, guys.
Okay, so if you can focus on some of the things that you just absolutely love about your spouse, and if you can remember what are the things that made you want to get married to them in the first place, and what are some of the things that they still do that you're really happy about? Because let's be honest, the person we married has really, really, really unique qualities, behaviors, and attitudes about them that no one else has. And if we can learn to take pride in that, then if we can just admire our spouse, I think that is something that can really help us move closer to one another. And
oh yeah,
I mean, everyone has flaws. We know that. But if we can shift our focus to the things that make them great, then I think we'll be a lot happier.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So the third thing that you can do to have a happier marriage is take time for a hug each day.
Oh yeah.
And this might sound like that just sounds too simple. It sounds too easy to be something that would actually make a difference. But the truth is, physical touch, there's just something about it for a married couple that can help you guys keep a strong connection. And whether it's in the bedroom or out of the bedroom, there's little things you can do. For example, if one of you is cooking, the other can brush up from behind, or there's holding hands. There's so many different ways to show affection and just build that bond.
Yes.
So a hug, I think, is really fantastic, and I think we've seen some research that if a hug lasts longer than 3 seconds, is that right? I think I've read in several different places that if a hug lasts longer than 3 seconds, then it actually has an effect on the brain.
Oh, okay.
And it does actually make you feel more connected.
Yes.
So, and that's something that I really love about Pesa is he's always very quick to walk over and give me a hug. And I've noticed that in the mornings when we get up and we meet in the kitchen, the first thing we do is hug.
Yes.
And so that, not only is it nice to have that, but it also reminds me that he's my best friend.
Oh yeah, I'm your best friend.
And it lets me know that we're about to start another great day together.
Yeah.
So, and also it's a good example for our children to see that. I think they see mom and dad hug. And so I just think that if couples can do that more
often,
it's
something that doesn't cost you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
And somebody was saying that you can't give a hug without receiving one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
No, yeah, I've heard that before too, and I think that's great because if you hug as though you haven't seen each other for a long time, so we're talking about a really passionate embrace.
Yeah.
Just being able to see the power in that is very important because it really can do a lot.
Yes.
And make a huge difference. So, again, here at Live Your Best Marriage, we really do want every couple to experience the bliss that comes from being married.
Yeah.
And it seems like people put a focus on the negative side of it.
The marriage, yes.
They seem to talk more about the conflicts that come up. Or
even know more about the conflicts.
Right.
And somebody's actually there's a psychological reason behind that. That we like to know what can go wrong because the things that are going right, we'd like to take them for granted because they are going right and we really don't need to know them.
Yes.
They're just helping us and everything is fine.
Yes.
But the things that are going wrong can hurt us. Those are things that we need to pay attention to. So as humans, what we do that is we tend to pay attention to what is going wrong because that is what can hurt you.
Right.
So things that are going right, yes, you think about them, but at the end of the day, they're just helping you and life is going on. Yes, big deal.
Kind of ignore it.
Yeah, yes, you kind of ignore it. But the things that are going wrong, if you don't pay attention to them, they can injure you. So with that, there's that psychological need to pay attention to things that are going wrong. Although in this situation, actually, if you emphasize the things that are going right, things will be much easier for you. Yes.
So I think that's really unfortunate that that when it comes to marriage, people talk a lot about the fights and the disappointment and the grudges and just all of those types of things, but we don't really hear much about the joy that you can experience from being married.
Yes.
And I feel really blessed that I've been able to experience that in my life. I've been able to share the last 13 years with an amazing husband, and not everyone has that privilege.
Only you have
not
that
everyone.
privilege.
Only me. No, I mean, no, I'm not. No, I'm not saying I don't feel bad that other women are missing out on being married to Pesa because he's mine. No, I'm saying I feel bad that they miss out on experiencing all the happiness and the joy and the love and all of the fun that comes from having a strong relationship and just having someone who's there with you
at all times,
all the time, just having someone there.
Yes.
And we focus on, as a culture, we focus on the bad times, but we don't say that we're thankful to have someone there at all times.
For the good times.
Yeah, just someone who's there with us all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's really a shame that we don't talk about that enough.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think there's an issue when somebody is talking about it all the time? Do you think it can be seen as they're bragging?
As they're bragging?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I would choose not to view it that way, because what's the difference between someone talking about success that they've had in their career? What's the difference between that and talking about success that they've had in their marriage? Because they both take work.
Yes.
A successful marriage takes a lot of work.
Yes.
The same way having a great career also takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of work.
Yes.
So, but when we hear someone talk about how accomplished they are, we don't usually say they're bragging.
No.
So.
And I like the way you brought up the issue of to have a successful career, you will put a lot of work in it. But we expect that we will drift through our marriage, through this great relationship that we have, and not even put a thought into it, and still have a great marriage.
Right. Right. And so a lot of things that I've heard just throughout my life is I've heard people make comments like, well, yeah, their marriage worked, or her marriage worked because she found a good one.
Yeah.
And I was actually told a couple weeks ago that I hit the jackpot.
Oh, really?
And I did. It's true. I did. I have a really great guy. But people have a tendency to ignore the effort
that you've put in,
that we both put in.
Yes.
To just staying together.
Yes.
It takes work.
And that, because there's also a feeling that the issue of once you get married, it's like you're going by your feelings, and once you get married, it's happily ever after.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's happily ever after.
And,
so.
Well, yeah, and so there's this misconception that for the people who stay together, they're lucky.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that we aren't fortunate.
Yes.
But they say, yeah, well, theirs worked out because they're lucky.
And if they were not lucky, it wouldn't have worked out.
But how often do we say that about someone's career? Do we say, oh, they just got lucky?
No. Some people would say that, but no.
Usually,
we know that there was some work put in.
Yeah.
In preparation, in getting ready for the job, studying for the job,
or
getting
experience,
the experience, something, but it's not just out of luck.
Yeah, we usually don't put a huge emphasis on, they were just lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, they just found a good job. They found the right job.
Yeah, there's always that feeling that they really worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they worked their way up.
Right.
So we should not take, it's not different with marriage.
Right.
No.
Right. It takes effort.
No. Yes, it does. So what are the three things that, what are the three simple tips to a happier marriage?
Okay, so just as a recap, always remember you're on the same team.
Okay, that's huge. That's really huge.
That'll help you navigate through the disagreements.
Yes.
A lot easier. The second thing was focus on what makes your spouse irresistible to you.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So if we put more of our focus on things that make them great instead of their flaws, then so that'll make things smoothly. We'll be a lot happier. And then the third one was take time for a hug each day.
Yes, take time for a hug each day. So always remember you're on the same team. Focus on what makes your spouse irresistible and take time for a hug each day. And if you do those things, I promise, I guarantee you that you will have a happier marriage. Again, always remember you're on the same team. Have a unified message. Focus on what makes your spouse irresistible and take time to hug each day. Do you have anything else, Whitney?
Nope.
Okay, folks, it was great doing another podcast. And just as a reminder, please go head out to iTunes at Live Your Best Marriage and like our podcast so you don't miss any more episodes as we're coming out. And also don't forget to go to Facebook.com/Live Your Best Marriage for the Facebook post. So until next time, bye and God bless.
Are you tired of being upset, lonely, feeling empty, or just plain frustrated with your marriage? And no matter how hard you try, you're not getting anywhere, just going in circles? No matter how much you try to make time for one another in your schedule, or how many times you say, "I'm sorry," Pesa and I have put together 99 ideas to help you connect with that one special person so that things can start to be more like the way they were before everyday life got in the way and caused the two of you to drift apart. We want you to have 99 ways to show love to your spouse absolutely free. You can find it at 99waystoshowlovetoyourspouse.com. Because here at Live Your Best Marriage, we truly hope that the two of you can move closer together and enjoy the connection that comes from achieving a stronger bond. Again, that's 99waystoshowlovetoyourspouse.com. That's the number 99waystoshowlovetoyourspouse.com.